Ever had a door slam in your face only to realize later it was the best thing that could have happened? That's what today's about, transforming rejection into your greatest edge, with wisdom drawn from Marcus Aurelius and the enduring strength of Stoicism. Picture this, a world where every no isn't an insult, but a redirection toward your highest potential. Where rejection doesn't shut you down, it sharpens you. This isn't about controlling fate, it's about mastering your reaction to it. If you've ever felt invisible, overlooked, or dismissed, this is for you. Because today, we're unpacking 13 powerful truths that flip rejection into fuel. These aren't abstract theories, they're practical, battle-tested strategies you can use starting now. Before we dive in, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so this message finds the people who need it most. Let's get into it. 1. Ignore them right back. When life turns away, don't chase after it. When someone ignores you, don't beg for their attention. That's not apathy, it's authority. Every dismissal you experience reflects more about their limits than your value. The Stoics teach us that our worth isn't dependent on others' approval. Choosing not to engage with those who dismiss you isn't spiteful, it's self-respect. Redirect your energy. Focus on your craft, your vision, your supporters. Their indifference isn't your loss, it's their missed opportunity. Your silence speaks volumes. Your discipline is your comeback. 2. Don't react, respond. Rejection can light a firestorm of emotion, anger, humiliation, insecurity, maybe even shame. It feels personal. It feels like an attack. But most of all, it feels immediate. You want to defend yourself, to explain, to fight for your worth. But here's the truth, knee-jerk reactions are rarely rooted in strength, they're rooted in fear. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This is where your power lies, not in what happens to you, but in how you respond to it. When someone rejects you or treats you with indifference, the ego wants to take over. It wants to prove something. It wants to be seen. But the Stoic path teaches us to pause, to delay that impulse just long enough to reclaim control. So take a breath. Step back. Ask yourself, what am I really reacting to? Is it the actual rejection, or the fear it triggered in me? Is this their truth, or just my interpretation of their actions? Would responding bring clarity, or just feed the fire? Because here's what happens when we don't pause, we let our emotions write the script. We send the angry message, make the snarky comment, spiral into self-doubt or over-explain our worth, and later, we regret it. We feel smaller, not stronger. But when you choose response over reaction, you flip the power dynamic. You're no longer controlled by the event, you're in command of your narrative. And make no mistake, this isn't about emotional suppression. Stoicism isn't numbness, it's awareness. It's feeling everything fully, then choosing your next step with wisdom, not impulse. So, when rejection shows up at your door, sit with the sting. Watch the thoughts rise without obeying them. Give yourself space to feel, without acting from the pain. Then move forward with clarity. Maybe that means responding calmly. Maybe it means saying nothing at all. Either way, your peace remains intact. Your power remains yours. Because calmness isn't weakness. It's restraint. It's authority. It's the quiet force that makes people wonder how you stayed so grounded when they expected you to fall apart. And it's contagious. People respect the one who keeps their composure when chaos hits. Your response or your silence becomes a mirror to their chaos. So next time rejection tries to rattle you, remember. You can't always control what comes at you. But you can always control what comes from you. That's not just strength. That's mastery. 3. Free your mind. Letting go isn't a weakness, it's wisdom in action. The pain of rejection doesn't come from the moment itself, it comes from how long we carry it. From the way we rehearse it, dissect it, and replay it on a loop like a scene we can't stop watching. We search for clues. We analyze what we said, how they looked, what we could have done differently. And in doing so, we anchor ourselves to a moment that's already over. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, it's not things that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. In other words, it's not the event. It's the story we attach to it. That text left unread. That opportunity that slipped away. That person who dismissed your value. Those things don't define your worth unless you decide they do. So here's your call. Feel it. But don't feed it. Let the rejection hit. Let it sting. Then let it pass like a wave that rolls in strong, then fades into the sea. If you keep revisiting the pain, if you keep pulling it back into your thoughts, you're the one keeping the wound open. You're giving space in your mind to someone who already chose to step out of your life. And for what? You don't owe your inner peace to anyone's inability to see your value. So reclaim your mental real estate. Let go not because it didn't hurt, but because your attention is too precious to waste. Redirect your energy. Learn something that expands your perspective. Move your body, reconnect with your strength. Build something meaningful, a skill, a project, a future. Invest in people who genuinely see you and challenge you to rise. This isn't avoidance. This is realignment. Letting go doesn't mean pretending nothing happened. It means choosing what gets to stay in your mind and what doesn't. That's the discipline. That's the practice. And here's the reward. Once you clear out the noise, you'll begin to hear yourself again. Your real voice. Your real power. Not the one that needed someone else's approval, but the one that creates its own path forward. That's when rejection transforms. It's no longer a wound. It becomes a window into deeper resilience, sharper focus, and a future built not from what you lost, but from everything you've reclaimed. 4. Let your actions speak. Don't explain. Don't beg. Don't perform. In a culture obsessed with visibility, with showing, proving, defending, choose a different route. Be the one who builds in the shadows. The one who doesn't just talk about potential, but lives it. Quietly. Relentlessly. If they doubted you, let that sharpen your edge. If they turned you down, let that become the fire that fuels your rise. Rejection doesn't need a response, it needs a result. You don't have to craft the perfect comeback or write the message that will make them see. You don't have to justify your worth to anyone who couldn't recognize it in the first place. Let your life do the talking. If they questioned your talent, refine your craft until it's undeniable. If they walked away, level up so far that looking back feels like looking down. If they thought you'd fold, stand up taller, stronger, more unshakable than ever before. And here's the truth that will set you free. You don't owe them anything. Not an explanation. Not a demonstration. Not even your attention. This journey isn't about them. It never was. It's about becoming someone so grounded, so focused, so unapologetically in alignment with your mission that no rejection can derail you, only redirect you towards something greater. You don't need to announce your evolution. You'll be too busy becoming it. Because lions don't roar to prove they're lions. They just walk and everything moves. 5. Go silent. In an age of overexposure and constant reaction, silence is radical. It's the power move no one expects and few have the discipline to choose. When you're dismissed, ghosted, or pushed aside, the ego screams to respond. To chase. To clarify. To reclaim dignity through words. But silence? Silence is a boundary. Silence is restraint. Silence is you saying without saying, I know who I am, and I don't argue with those who forgot. This isn't about games. This isn't manipulation. This is about self-respect. Silence protects your energy. It creates space. It gives you the distance you need to see clearly, to focus on what deserves your attention, not what merely demands it. Let them wonder why you haven't reached out. Let them sit with your absence. Because while they're second-guessing your silence, you'll be building something solid. Something that doesn't need validation, just forward motion. So hold the line. Speak only when it elevates. Engage only when it's rooted in purpose. Otherwise, let your silence echo louder than any explanation ever could. Because the highest form of respect for yourself is knowing when to walk away without a word. 6. Prove them wrong. Not out of vengeance. Not to win them back. Not to scream, "You should have chosen me." But for you. To prove to yourself that you are more than what they saw. More than what they labeled. More than the narrow frame they tried to put you in. When someone doubts you, don't argue. Don't plead. Don't perform. Transcend. Let their disbelief become the weight that makes you stronger. Let their silence sharpen your focus. Let their rejection become the echo that drives you deeper into your purpose. Because this isn't about them anymore. It never really was. Rejection doesn't mean you're not enough. It means they couldn't recognize what you are becoming. So let that no fuel your next level. If they said you wouldn't make it, master your craft until excellence is second nature. If they laughed at your dreams, turn those dreams into milestones they'll read about. If they left you behind, thank them silently. Because their absence created space for your evolution. You don't need their applause. You don't need their regret. You don't need them to circle back and, finally, see your value. That's not the point. You need to wake up and outwork the version of you who used to settle. You need to train, build, and learn until even your old self wouldn't recognize you. You need to stop measuring yourself by how others receive you and start measuring yourself by how boldly you move forward in spite of it all. Because the most powerful response to rejection isn't a reaction, it's reinvention. Let your actions write the narrative. Let your growth close the chapter. Let your presence become undeniable. Not because you're trying to change their minds, but because you've finally changed your own. And one day, not for drama, not for ego, but with calm clarity, you'll look back and realize that no, that dismissal, that silence, it was your turning point. It forced you inward. It pushed you higher. It made you choose power over pity. And you'll smile, not because they were wrong, but because you proved yourself right. 7. Find joy anyway. Rejection wants you small. It wants you bitter, curled inward, consumed by the echo of not enough. It wants you scrolling through memories, dissecting silences, waiting for closure that never comes. It wants you to disappear. So do the opposite. Laugh harder. Move freer. Live louder. This isn't about pretending you don't care. It's about refusing to let pain rewrite your spirit. Joy, in the wake of rejection, isn't naivety. It's rebellion. It's proof that your soul is fireproof, that no one gets to extinguish your light without permission. So what do you do after they walk away? You go live. Try something new and wildly out of character. Dance badly. Get lost in a book that makes you forget your phone exists. Explore a new city, even if it's just the other side of your neighborhood. Text that friend you've been too in your head to reach out to. Rejection thrives in stillness. Joy thrives in motion. And no, this isn't about masking the pain with distraction, it's about refusing to let the pain make all your decisions. Go where life feels vibrant. Go where your laugh isn't cautious. Surround yourself with people who don't just tolerate you, but celebrate you. Because here's the truth. One person's no doesn't get to cancel your entire existence. Their dismissal doesn't get to own your day, your week, your life. You are allowed to move on. You are allowed to enjoy yourself. You are allowed to create new moments that don't include them. In fact, that's your job now, not to prove them wrong with anger, but to prove yourself right with joy. Joy that says, I'm still here. I still matter. And I will not let this break me. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. So feed your life thoughts of expansion, of new possibilities, of laughter and movement and momentum. Don't just survive rejection, outshine it. Smile anyway. Create anyway. Love anyway. Thrive anyway. That's power they can't take back. 8. Level up your life. Rejection can feel like a punch to the gut. A closed door. A slammed window. A voice whispering, "You're not it." But what if that closed door wasn't a dead end, just a divine detour? What if the setback wasn't punishment but preparation? Here's the truth. Sometimes rejection is life's most honest mirror. It reflects what you've outgrown. It reveals where you were settling. It reminds you it's time to rise. So rise. Don't just sit with the pain. Build from it. Use the sting as rocket fuel. Let the silence echo loud enough to wake up the part of you that got too comfortable playing small. This is your signal to level up. Clean your environment not just for tidiness, but for clarity. Upgrade your habits, stack small wins until confidence becomes inevitable. Train your body because physical strength reinforces inner strength. Feed your mind, read what stretches you, study what inspires you, question what limits you. Master a new skill not to impress anyone, but to remind yourself that you're capable of reinvention at any time. You're not doing this for applause. You're doing this because you refuse to be the same version of yourself a year from now, especially not the version they walked away from or overlooked. And here's the secret. When you level up for you, not to prove something, not to get someone back, the glow hits different. It's quieter. Deeper. More permanent. It's not about becoming someone else to earn acceptance. It's about becoming more of who you were always meant to be. And soon, the same people who rejected you won't even recognize you. Not because you've changed to chase them, but because you've evolved so far past them, they can't reach where you're headed. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." So stop talking. Stop waiting. Build. Become. Be. Let the new version of you, sharper, stronger, unbothered, be the loudest reply. You don't rise to prove them wrong. You rise to prove yourself right. 9. Focus on your mission. Rejection has a voice, loud, persistent, tempting. It whispers, "You're not good enough." It begs you to replay every moment, dissect every word, doubt every step. But here's the truth. Rejection is a distraction. And distraction is the enemy of mission. Because the moment you start obsessing over why they said no, you've already handed them the most precious thing you own, your focus. So take it back. Reclaim your mission. Your mission is what calls to you in the silence. It's the vision you can't shake. The work you were born to do. The version of you that doesn't flinch when life gets loud, because purpose is louder. When rejection strikes, your power move isn't revenge. It's realignment. Reconnect to your why. Write down your goals again, like their battle plans. Build something that outlasts opinions. Train like your body is your armor. Work like your purpose is sacred, because it is. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about your neighbors. Be concerned with how you can change your own behavior." Translation: stop watching them. Stop worrying about who left, who doubted, who doesn't see you. Focus on what you're building. Focus on what's still in your control. Because when your mission takes over, rejection loses its grip. It becomes noise. A footnote. A flicker in the rearview mirror of your drive. And the more locked in you get, the more you realize. You didn't lose anything. You gained clarity. Clarity that says, "I don't need their approval to matter. I don't need their recognition to rise. I don't need their yes to execute my purpose." You're not chasing them anymore. You're chasing something bigger. something real. And when you start living like that, on mission, on fire, on purpose, the same people who walked away may look back. But you won't. Because your eyes are forward. Your mission is calling. And nothing else matters. 10. Maintain dignity and grace. Rejection can tempt you to react small, to lash out, to clap back, to make them feel what they made you feel. But here's the truth. Dignity is dominance. Grace is grit. And how you carry yourself when things don't go your way. That's the real test. The Stoics weren't emotionless, they were emotionally disciplined. They knew the real flex isn't how loud you get when disrespected. It's how composed you stay. You don't need to explode to prove a point. You don't need to get even to feel powerful. You don't need to chase closure, you are the closure. When someone rejects you, remember. It's not always personal. And even if it is, so what? Their inability to recognize your worth doesn't shrink your value. Their silence doesn't silence your potential. Their no doesn't override your destiny. Dignity means choosing stillness when chaos invites you in. It means walking away, not because you're weak, but because you're not willing to lower yourself to their level. It means refusing to let someone else's behavior define your character. If a response is needed, let it be honest, measured, and clean. Not sarcastic. Not vindictive. Not thirsty for attention. And if no response is necessary, let silence speak for you. Sometimes grace is saying nothing at all. Because here's the secret. The world is watching. Not for drama, but for discipline. And the person who can hold their head high after rejection, that's a rare force. That's unforgettable. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." So don't become bitter. Become better. Let grace be your weapon. Let dignity be your armor. And when you walk away, walk tall. Not because you're unaffected, but because you've mastered the art of staying grounded while everything else tries to shake you. You didn't lose. You leveled up. With silence. With self-respect. With unshakable grace.